Dr. Bernie Dahl is a licensed physician and board-certified pathologist who earned degrees in chemistry and Bible and MD from Cornell University and completed his pathology residency at the University of Vermont. Fresh out of serving as an Epidemic Intelligence Service Officer with the CDC in Atlanta, he was selected as Chief of Pathology at a medical center in Maine. During his successful 25-year career in the trenches of group medical practice and consultation, he became a published expert on leadership and strategic planning. Dr. Dahl took early retirement to focus on writing, speaking, and consultation. Having climbed high mountains throughout the world, he continued his mountaineering, an activity that nearly cost him his life. Rescued from near death, he lived to share his story entitled Lessons for Living from a Mount Washington Misadventure, wherein he shares the wisdom gained from this experience in a positive, motivational, inspirational, yet ecumenical message focused on 3 admonitions. Be prepared to die. Have a plan to live. Do it now. His story, which he reenacted for the Learning Channel's Storm Force series, is offered as a keynote and workshop and is adaptable to most any audience.
October 23rd, Mountain Washington, New Hampshire. It was truly a dark and stormy night. For me, perhaps the darkest and stormiest night of my entire life, because I came within minutes, 5 minutes of death. Unfortunately, my death. Now, as a physician and a pathologist, I had had a long, close professional relationship with death and dying, but not one with my dying, and certainly not with my death. During that long afternoon, evening, and night, as I lay waiting for rescue in hurricane-force winds and complete whiteout conditions, and then I must admit that eventually I pretty much gave up any hope of rescue, I had abundant time to think about living and to think about dying. It was Boswell who wrote that the threat of hanging tends to focus the mind. It has also been said since ancient times that to know how to live, one must first learn how to die. But one other interesting thing did occur that really was neat for me and my wife was they kept calling her back in Maine, the New Hampshire fishing game. And then finally they called her around midnight and they said, we have to call off the search because the weather's so bad. And she said to them, they reported this back to me, that her wisdom, her knowledge of life and death, and she used to help me doing autopsies and stuff, her knowledge of who I was, she made the statement, Bernie loved the mountain. What better place for him to die?